A long time ago, there was a big city called Oyo. The king of Oyo was named Sango. He was a very strong and brave king. Sango was also a great warrior who could control thunder and lightning. One day, one of Sango's helpers came to him with bad news. Another kingdom wanted to fight against Oyo. Their army was already marching towards Oyo's city gates. Sango knew he had to do something quickly to protect his people. Sango called all his bravest warriors together. He told them to get ready for a big battle against the enemy. As the other army got closer to Oyo, Sango used his special powers over thunder and lightning to help his warriors. With a loud clap of thunder, bright flashes of lightning struck down on the enemy soldiers. The lightning made loud crashing sounds and lit up the sky. The enemy soldiers were very scared and surprised by the lightning. The battle between Oyo and the enemy kingdom went on for many days. It was a hard fight, but finally, Sango and his warriors won. They had defeated the enemy army. All the people of Oyo were very happy and celebrated Sango's big victory. But Sango had used his powers over thunder and lightning many times during the battle. This made the gods who controlled nature very angry with Sango. The gods thought Sango had used too much of this special power in a bad way. A few days after the battle, Sango was walking outside in the palace gardens. Suddenly, dark storm clouds filled the sky above him. Lightning started flashing brightly all around Sango. Then, a huge bolt of lightning came crashing down and struck Sango. The mighty blast of lightning hit Sango hard and knocked him down to the ground. When Sango woke up, he saw that his body had changed into a strange creature. He now had the head of a ram with big curved horns. His body was covered in thick fur like an animal. Sango was horrified to see his new scary-looking form. He did not want his people to see him looking like a beast. So Sango ran away from the palace and escaped into the deep forest to hide. For many years, Sango lived all alone in the wilderness. He was very sad that he could no longer live as the human king of Oyo because of the curse put on him by the gods. Sango stayed hidden away in the forest, mourning the loss of his human life. For a very long time, Sango lived alone deep in the forest. He did not want anyone to see his strange new body that looked like part animal, part human. Sango felt ashamed of his beastly appearance. One day, a young man was out hunting with his bow and arrows in that same forest. This young hunter's name was Tund. As Tund walked through the trees, he suddenly saw a large, hairy creature moving nearby. It had the head of a ram with big curved horns. Tund was very frightened when he first saw the beast-like creature. He quickly pulled out an arrow, ready to shoot it with his bow. But then the creature spoke in a deep voice. "Do not be afraid, I mean you no harm," it said. Tund could not believe his ears. This beast could talk like a human. He lowered his bow and listened as the creature introduced itself as Sango, the former king of Oyo. Sango explained how he had been cursed by the gods and turned into this half-man, half-beast form. At first, Tund had a hard time believing Sango's strange story. But the more they talked, the more Tund realized this creature had the wise mind and noble heart of the great king he had learned about as a child. Sango really was the legendary ruler of Oyo. Tund begged Sango to come back with him to Oyo to be the king again. But Sango was afraid that his people would be horrified by his monstrous new appearance and would reject him. He refused to return to the city. For weeks, Tund tried to convince Sango to have courage and show himself to the people of Oyo once more. Tund insisted that Oyo needed their great king back to guide them, no matter what he looked like on the outside. Finally, after much pleading from the young hunter, Sango agreed to return to Oyo. With his heart pounding, the beast-like Sango walked through the city gates once more. At first, the people of Oyo were very confused and scared to see the creature that looked like a ram-headed monster. But then they recognized the eyes of their former king. One of the elders stepped forward and proclaimed, "People of Oyo, do not be afraid. This is our King Sango who has returned to us. The gods have just changed his outer appearance as a test of our loyalty." Hearing this, the people of Oyo ran forward and bowed at Sango's feet, overjoyed to have their beloved king back. They did not care about his beastly form, because they knew his spirit and wisdom were the same. From that day forward, Sango was welcomed back to rule over Oyo. The people accepted him as their king, despite his strange chimeric look. They honored him for his courage, strength, and leadership. After the people welcomed Sango back as their king, he ruled over Oyo again. But this time, as a beast with the head of a ram and a body covered in fur. His appearance did not matter, though, because everyone respected Sango for his wise and noble spirit inside. Sango was very happy to be king of Oyo once more. However, he had learned an important lesson from the god's curse that transformed him. He realized he had to teach his people to use powerful forces like thunder and lightning properly and with respect for nature. From then on, Sango made sure the people of Oyo were always careful about how they used strong natural powers. He taught them not to abuse or disrespect the incredible forces of the world around them. The gods who controlled things like thunder were very powerful, and their powers demanded great responsibility. Sango led Oyo peacefully and fairly for many more years as their beast-headed king. Whenever the people saw his ram-like horns or shaggy fur, it reminded them to stay humble and obey the laws of the natural world order. Over time, the people of Oyo began to not just respect Sango, but revere him as almost a deity himself. They saw how he could control lightning and thunder, and how he represented the awesome powers of nature. Sango's beastly form became a symbol of the untamed strength of the elements. The people built shrines and temples honoring Sango all across Oyo. They left offerings of food, flowers, and treasures at these holy places dedicated to their mighty beast king. On festive days, the people danced and sang songs glorifying Sango's heavenly abilities. Even after Sango eventually grew old and died, his legacy lived on forever after. Stories of the legendary beast king who once ruled Oyo were passed down from generation to generation. Parents told their children about how a real human king was transformed into a half-man, half-beast creature by the gods as punishment. The legend reminded the Oyo people to always appreciate the magic and mysteries of the natural world around them. They learned that controlling forces like thunder was a sacred responsibility that should never be abused. Respecting the power of nature brought Sango's human spirit peace in the end. For centuries after he was gone, the people of Oyo celebrated Sango as an important spirit who helped guide them to use great abilities wisely. His story became a shining example of courage, strength, humility, and living in harmony with the wonders of the earth and skies above. Sango's legacy would never be forgotten.